He's president of the United States. It's on his watch. And with regard to more divided, the nation can't stay divided. We can't be this way. And speaking of my son, the way you talk about the military, the way you talk about them being losers and being and just being suckers. My son was in Iraq. He spent a year there. He got the Bronze Star. He got the Conspicuous Service Medal. He was not a loser. He was a patriot, and the people left behind there were heroes.
Really?
And I resent.
Are you talking
like
about
hell.
Hunter? Are you talking about Hunter?
I'm talking about my son, Beau Biden. You're talking about.
I don't know Beau. I know Hunter.
Yeah,
Hunter got thrown out of the military. He was thrown out, dishonorably discharged.
That's not true. He wasn't dishonorably.
Cocaine use. And he didn't have a job until you became vice president. And once you
None
became
of that
vice president, he made a fortune in Ukraine, in China, in Moscow,
that is simply
and various
not
other places.
True.
He made a fortune.
My son.
And he didn't have a job.
My son, like a lot of people we know at home, had a drug problem. He's overtaken it. He's fixed it. He's worked on it, and I'm proud of him.
But why was he given tens of millions of dollars?
But he wasn't given tens of millions of dollars. That is totally discredited.
We've already been
totally discredited.
So I've been doing a lot of reporting on this. I think you could see it as early as the next 24 hours, a lengthy report, a one-year investigation, and it will debunk the false storyline that Democrats gave us during last year's impeachment. Remember, at that time, any questions about Hunter Biden was a conspiracy theory. There was no conflicts. There was nothing bad going on. Here's what the report is likely to reveal. First, the State Department, under Obama and Biden, believed that Joe Biden was engaging in a conflict of interest. Secondly, the State Department detected a $7 million bribe being paid by Burisma, the company hiring Hunter Biden in Ukraine, while Hunter Biden sat on its board. They reported it to the FBI. That sounds like wrongdoing. Third, there was a pressure campaign inside the Obama State Department and in the White House invoking Hunter Biden's name and trying to pressure the U.S. government to make the Burisma corruption allegations go away before the 2016 election ended. And then finally, it wasn't just the State Department worried about Hunter Biden. The Treasury Department flagged several transactions, foreign money flowing into companies connected to Hunter Biden as suspicious transactions, usually the first step in what might launch a money laundering investigation. Those are four things that will almost certainly be in the report tomorrow. And that sounds a lot different than that storyline the Democrats gave us back last fall.
We can get to net zero in terms of energy production by 2035. Not only not costing people jobs, creating millions of good paying jobs, not $15 an hour, but prevailing wage, by having a new infrastructure that, in fact, is green. And the first thing I will do, I will rejoin the Paris Accord. I will join the Paris Accord because with us out of it, look what's happening. It's all falling apart. And talk about someone who has no relationship with foreign policy. Brazil, the rainforests of Brazil are being torn down, are being ripped down. More carbon is absorbed in that rainforest than every bit of carbon that's emitted in the United States. Instead of doing something about that, I would be gathering up and making sure we had the countries of the world coming up with $20 billion and say, here's $20 billion. Stop tearing down the forest. And if you don't, then you're going to have significant economic consequences.
What about the argument that President Trump basically says that you have to balance environmental interests and economic interests, and he's drawn his line?
Well, he hadn't drawn a line. He still, for example, makes sure that he wants to make sure that methane's not a problem. You can now emit more methane without it being a problem. Methane. This is a guy who says that you don't have to have mileage standards for automobiles that exist now. This is a guy who says that, well, the fact that it's all true. And here's the deal.
He's talking about the Green New Deal, and it's not $2 billion or $20 billion, as you said. It's $100 trillion.
I'm talking about
where they want to rip down buildings
and
rebuild the building.
No,
it's the dumbest, most ridiculous. Where airplanes are out of business, where two-car systems are out, where they want to take out the cows too. That's not true either, right? This is a $100 trillion. Look, that's more money than our country could make in 100 years, if we're
not
going
the case.
All right, let me
destroy our
because I
country.
actually, wait a minute, sir. I actually have.
For 47 years, you were vice president. Why didn't you get the world? China sends up real dirt into the air. Russia does, India does, they all do. We're supposed to be good. And by the way, he made a couple of statements. The Green New Deal is $100 trillion,
that is
not
not
$20
my
billion.
plan.
That's
the Green New
you want to
Deal
rebuild every
is
building.
Not my plan.
You want to rebuild every.
If he knew anything about, if he knew anything
he made a
about,
statement about the military. He said I said something about the military. He and his friends made it up, and then they went with it. I never said it.
Okay,
that is
what
not
he
true.
did
Sir,
is he
you're done
said
in this segment.
he called
Mr.
the military
Mr. Vice President,
stupid bastards.
I
and he
did
said
not
it on
say